St. Kitts and Nevis will be on a 24-hour lockdown effective Tuesday, March 31st at 7 p.m. to Friday, April 3rd at 6 a.m. According to Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris in a national address on Monday night, this was necessary because people were disregarding the restrictions of the curfew that was instituted on Saturday night. This means the current curfew regulations will be repealed.
Despite a clear statement that all citizens must stay at home, except in certain very limited situations, the Police High Command has reported that many persons have chosen to disobey these regulations. Irresponsible behavior will not be tolerated. Offenders will be promptly arrested and charged. We will not hesitate to prosecute those found in breach of the emergency powers COVID-19 regulations. We are in a war, and this war we must win. Together we must be united, with all of us doing our part to ensure our safety, that of our families, communities, and by extension, our beloved country. This is not a time for reckless behavior. Sober, responsible behavior is essential. The Cabinet of Ministers has determined that, after consultation with the Police High Command, the National COVID-19 Working Group, the Chief Medical Officer, and the Medical Chief of Staff of the JNF General Hospital, that there be a 24-hour curfew, a total lockdown, from 7 p.m. Tuesday 31st March to 6 a.m. Friday 3rd April in the first instance. It means that the current regulations will be repealed and new regulations made in which no one, except the security forces and other security personnel, the healthcare officers, technical emergency officers of utilities, including telecoms, and media personnel, will be allowed out of their residences.
The Prime Minister stressed that these measures, though inconvenient, are designed to contain the spread of COVID-19 in St. Kitts and Nevis.
That once there is an initial finding of a confirmed case, the situation worsens before it gets better. A similar pattern is expected here in our beloved Federation. The number of cases will therefore increase, peak, plateau, and then decline. The time taken to flatten the curve depends on how quickly our citizens and residents take all precautions and eliminate chances of further transmission via social distancing, strict compliance with the emergency powers COVID-19 regulations, and exercise common sense. These powers are aimed at restricting the spread of the virus from one person to the next. They are intended to protect you and keep your loved ones safe. Please abide by the regulations. We are working hard to identify, isolate, and provide early care for patients. By minimizing contact, we will keep the numbers down and manageable.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister encouraged persons not to engage in impulsive buying as there is enough food to satisfy the local demand.
I strongly reiterate that there is no need to engage in impulsive buying. There is an adequate stock of food on hand. This week alone, some 57 containers are arriving with food, vegetables, and beverages. The short point is that vessels are coming on schedule every week. Do not crowd shopping centers to purchase and stockpile food that may very well expire and ultimately be a waste of money, as you would have to dispose of it. An adequate supply is in hand for the next 6 to 8 weeks. I urge you to please act calmly and wisely.
Dr. Harris commended civil society for their contribution during these times and the citizens and residents for their understanding in spite of the inconveniences created due to these stringent measures. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline.